Hey everybody, and welcome back. So I had filmed a really cool intro today inside the airplane on my way to Spanish Fork to work on the airplane, but for some reason we got some really bad audio. So what I'm going to do is give you an intro after the fact. So a little information is yesterday we were flying home from the Bonneville Salt Flats and my trim wheel jammed up. So the whole way home, which was about an hour flight, I had no trim. So today we got it up early this morning and flew it to Spanish Fork, Utah, where my A&P mechanic is, and he and I went through the airplane trying to find the issue. So also I installed some new lights, but we'll get to that on another video. So enjoy the flight, and we'll see you in Spanish Fork.
Alright, pick up our radius, see what the wind's doing.
LA Regional Airport.
Automated weather observation. 162.8 Zulu weather. Wind 170 at 13. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 1 Celsius. Dew point 1. Altimeter 2. Niner 4.
Alright, so low pressure moved in overnight. It was 332.2 when I landed last
Southern
night.
traffic Archer 40670 taxiing from Brandon Aviation to 160 at Bravo. That's fine.
32 or 29.92 today. A little bit of wind today. 13. But it's right down the runway, so we should get off the runway in about 150 or 200 feet with, half tanks and just me on board. Go ahead and taxi on out. South Valley traffic, Skywagon 80391 is at the North Shade Hangars. I will be taxiing to runway 16 at Bravo, South Valley. Alright, the joys of taxiing a tailwheel airplane in the wind. Alright, let's sneak in next to this guy and do our run up. Alright. Alright, oil temp's coming up pretty good. So let's go ahead and run her up to 1700 RPM. Or 18, that works too. Left mag.
Southern traffic Archer 40670 holding short 16 Alpha 4 southbound.
Right mag. Good drop. Alright, I don't like to torture my prop, so I just bring it back until I see
Southern
movement.
traffic Archer 40670 taking active 16 will be departure northwest, South Valley.
Like that, make sure it's working. Then all the way back to the forward position. I'm gonna give it just another 30 seconds here to warm up that oil a little bit more before we head out. The short flight down to Spanish Fork, it's usually about 15 minutes. Kind of a weird weather anomaly here in Utah is there's a place called Point of the Mountain, and I'll point it out as we go by. It's the vortice or the hourglass effect is in weather is very prominent right there. The wind, if it's coming from the north, you'll have 15 mile an hour winds here, but as soon as it goes through that Venturi, it opens up and there's no wind at all on the other side of the valley, and vice versa if it's from the south. So it's a very interesting place to fly. You got to pay attention to your weather. Okay, so we got good oil temp. Check our idle. Looks good to me. All right. So our trim is stuck, as we know, but it's in the neutral position. Let's go ahead and taxi on up here. Get ready to go. Maybe we'll do a short field takeoff today. See how quick we can get in the air. South Valley traffic, Skywagon 80391 is short of runway 16, getting ready to take the active for a southbound departure.
South Valley traffic, Arc 40670, turning right crosswind 16, South Valley.
Alright, nobody else in the pattern except for the guy on the crosswind. Let's go ahead and pull on out. I put 10 degrees of flaps in to start, just because that handle's so far down there. Reaching down and grabbing a hold of it at the very bottom while your tail's coming up isn't always the best idea. Go ahead and turn us on down the runway.
South Valley traffic, Arc 40670, turning right downwind 16, South Valley.
Alright, here we go. Advance full power, a little bit of brake. Release the brakes. Tail's gonna come up. Airspeed's alive. And rotate. We're off there in about 400 feet. Slowly let out the flaps.
South Valley traffic, Arc 40670, departing the right downwind northwest.
Now we'll keep an eye on our airspeed's nice and alive, so 1,000 feet of runway left, and we're doing 124 across the ground. 115 indicated, so let's go ahead and yank her on up. Get up out of the way. A little bumpy today. South Valley traffic, Skywagon 80391 just departed runway 16, and we'll be departing on the upwind. Let's go ahead and pull our prop back. No reason to spend all the gas. This IO 520 already likes to drink. I like to cruise at about 2,300 RPM. And that allows me to, the engine likes it at about 14 gallons an hour at that. And with a no wind day, I can usually get about 146 across the ground, which I'm happy with that. 14 gallons an hour at 146, 150 miles an hour. I'm good with that. So I'm having to keep it down a little bit. So we fly out of U-42, which is under the Class Bravo shelf of Salt Lake City, Utah. So when you take off out of there, you've got to stay below
traffic, Arch 40670 over Whitewater Tower, 6,000, climbing for 6,300, northwest bound, South Valley.
So when you come through there, when you're below the Bravo, you got to come through at 6,000 or less until outside of the 6,000 foot or 6,000 Bravo. So you got to keep it down low for a little bit. South Valley traffic, Skywagon 80391 is half a mile to the east of Jordan Temple, southbound 5,600. Alright, we got a pretty good little headwind right now because we're only indicating 122 miles an hour across the ground. That's pretty slow for this airplane. Imagine if we were going the other way, we'd probably be doing 200 plus. But hey, never a bad day when you're in the air. We're a little bit closer. We'll contact Provo, since we're going to have to transition through their airspace. I'm expecting them to give me clearance east of I-15. That is through their airspace, but out of their way. You guys can see that long road there ahead of us. That's called Redwood Road. Everything to the right of that is an MOA. So we try and avoid that as much as possible. That does make this is that vortex or that area I was talking about. On the left over here where that flat mountain is where they do a lot of paragliding. So obviously GA, we try and avoid that area. And then we got an MOA on our right, so this makes a high traffic area. All right, let's see if we can pick up the ATIS over there. Oh, I guess it's an AWAS.
Spanish Fork Airport, Woodhouse Field. Automated weather observation 164.7 Zulu. Wind, calm. Visibility more than 10. Temperature 1 Celsius. Dew point -3 Celsius. Altimeter 2.996 inches of mercury.
Alright, well the winds are calm, huh? Well, let's see. What's another way we can find out which way they're landing? Let's take a look at...
November 335 Sierra Charlie, Provo ground, runway 13, taxi Charlie, Bravo and Alpha, cross runway 18.
Without switching over, let's see if we can go over to Spanish, see if there's any traffic. Which I don't see any over there. So I guess we'll have our choice of runways. They're using runway 18 here at Provo. That tells me the wind's out of the south. So if that's the case, we probably want to land runway 12 at Spanish Fork.
Provo Tower, Archer 37 Kilo Hotel has traffic in sight.
Archer 7 Kilo Hotel, thank you. Follow. Sustain 0391, no observed traffic at Spanish Fork, change to advisory frequency approved.
Frequency change approved, appreciate your help, have a good day. Alrighty, so we're cleared. Direct. Which isn't that far from now. We are only 4 miles out. Spanish Fork traffic, Skywagon 80391 is 4 miles to the east. Inbound for landing, runway 12, Spanish Fork. Alright, so I got the runway inside, it's directly ahead of us there. Just off to my right side is Provo, so we gotta make sure that we're not crowding their Delta space too much, even though he did give us permission to pass through. Spanish Fork traffic, Skywagon 80391 is on an extended base for runway 12, 391. Alrighty. Guess we can start slowing her down. Ooh, good little wind shear there. And start slowing her down. Going 160 miles an hour since we made that westerly turn. Alright. First notch of flaps coming in. And let her descend. Not as much fun when you can't trim. Because I got 1 notch I can use. Alright. Bad for traffic, Skywagon 80391, turning final runway 12. And since we don't have trim, we're going to do a wheel landing today. Keep the speed up a little bit. Take some of that pressure off me. And we're going to end up taxiing all the way to the other end, so there's no reason to put it on the numbers and wear out tires more than we need to.
Spanish Fork traffic radio check.
Log clear.
Hey, that Cessna just departed. It looks like you guys are leaking fuel or something on top of your wings.
That's not good. Alright, let's keep this tail up. Go ahead and taxi on down here to the end. Alright. Alright, welcome to Spanish Fork. report traffic. Skywagon E03901 is the active.
Okay, so we've taken apart the inside of the aircraft. So I'll show you that. We've taken off the inspection panels. We've taken off an inspection panel there, trying to figure out why this trim is stuck. We've taken off everything through the back, all the way back there. But the problem we're having is we can't see where the issue is, where it gets tight. We're not seeing it. On a 185 Skywagon, the whole horizontal stabilizer and elevator move together as trim. So that whole piece goes up and down. In order to access the jack screws without pulling the whole tail, we have to pull this panel. Problem being is there is some screws down inside of here that we can't get to because this is locked up. So right now we're gonna have to pull the horizontal stabilizer apart and free it up and move it out of the way in hopes that we can find the obstruction. I'll keep you informed. Okay, so turned into a bigger project than we thought. The jack screw in the back seems to be malfunctioning somehow, and the jack screw is one of two of them that pulls the horizontal stabilizer up and down, so which gives me trim. Well, the only way to get to it is you got to pull the whole tail off. So we pulled everything. It's taken us all day, but we got it all apart. It is down inside of here. Let me see if I can grab some light and I'll show you what we got. But those are the jack screws, and down inside of there, might be kind of hard to see, is our issue. Something in there is binding up and we don't know what. So tomorrow we're going to dive into it a little bit more and see if we can figure it out. So at this point, the old 185 is down while we work on it and try and figure out what's wrong. I've got a trip to Kansas in 2 weeks, so I'm really hoping she's up and running for that. But you know, that's part of owning an airplane. So if any of you have ever had any issues like this before, any recommendations, any ideas of what else it could be, we've checked every pulley and everything, but the whole system just, it'll click once or twice and then lock up. Either way. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you watching. That's going to wrap it up for today. We will be back next time with the conclusion to what's going on with my airplane. So, have a great night.